Yo, welcome back to the catastrophe that is the U.S. stock market. Holy, and global for that matter. Oh my goodness gracious. What has just happened today? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Before we get started, watching to the end is the best way to support this YouTube channel. You can like and comment your thoughts down below. So keep that in mind. While you're watching the video, or if you have thoughts in general right now, go ahead and comment them down below. I appreciate it. Also, I posted my first TikTok. I'm going to have the link to my TikTok at the top of the description whenever you go check down there. It's an old TikTok that I made a few weeks ago whenever I first decided that I wanted to start making TikToks. So the information is a little outdated, but I think that you'll appreciate the editing. I did it all by myself. And I'm going to be posting a lot more frequently there. So make sure that you check me out there. And let's get into this analysis. So today, we're looking at the futures chart here. You had a big press down, and we going into today we're pretty bearish, looking at the macro picture. And I think that I have a little bit clearer of a picture of how this might play out for comparison's sake. And so let's take a deeper look. Looking at the daily chart here on ES1. You have what I think is going to start to play out like a broadening descending wedge locally here within this larger falling wedge. And look, guys, I mean, you can have a relief rally, right, going into next week. Like, let's look at a lower time frame here. When futures open on Sunday night, you might see this kind of bump up sort of action here. But I am the next few weeks, if you don't break out of these downtrends here, I'm very bearish. On this retest, you have to break out of here. Once you break out of here, I'll change my mind. I'll become bullish. If you break out of here with some volume, you retest, and then you start to break back up and make new highs, I'll admit that I was wrong. And what that would look like is you would have this path. Perhaps it breaks out here. You come out, retest. As soon as you break this new high here, this starts to look like accumulation. I change my mind. I say, hey, short term, we're bullish. We'll come back up here and test this midline that we've been watching for a while now. But overwhelmingly here, and I'll draw this as your bull scenario in green. Overwhelmingly here, my bias is with bears. It has been for a few weeks now. We have been saying that this is most likely going to play out as a redistribution, and that's what it appears is happening. You're making new lows. The volume is spiking as you're making these new lows. On lower time frames, let's look at the daily chart and just see where this volume lies. This isn't the highest volume day that you've had, but I think that overall, again, you're most likely headed towards some sort of bull trap like you had today, but maybe a larger one, right? Maybe a swing up here. Let's grab this swing high, swing low on Fibonacci. I mean, you really could just like open gap down on future Sunday night. It's totally a possibility. But for that retrace sort of move, I'd be looking at perhaps this sort of rounding type look, and you come up here to this 36.57. Maybe you have a bull trap up to this 36.75. But I'd be watching very closely, and when you make new lows there, if that's what occurs, you get rejected back down into this falling wedge. That's very bearish in my opinion, and you're gonna continue to get dragged down. Now, as we talked about in the video yesterday, I am optimistic that after you continue down into this more macro falling wedge, the likelihood is that you will have that reversal occur, right? So again, let's project here and pretend like we're going to continue down into this falling wedge as we talked about. And then I'll change the color of this so that it's easier to differentiate. You would probably have this sort of look, and maybe you kind of drag along the bottom here of this broadening descending wedge that we've been in for a long time now. But this is the sort of look that I'm expecting. Yeah, and even if it does have this kind of bear trappy sort of scenario like you played out back here, I'll circle this. Oh my goodness. I meant to grab the ellipse tool and I grabbed the circle, but this works just fine. Let's change the color of this. I was like, what? What happened? How you broke down out of the bottom. I do still think that this is the dominant trend that will play out. I think that you've had so much more price action on this green line. I mean, you can draw an alternative here angle, and maybe you should, right? Because if you, yeah. Because if you do the same thing that you did before, you can see how I'm laughing because you can see how beautifully this would sort of play out and actually look like a similar move. And this particularly, like, and again, the timeline is, it's a little bit more tricky, but 3,200 here in October. I mean, this is, yeah. I mean, this timeline is sharp, right? I mean, this is pretty aggressive, actually. This would say, because the month is about to close, and look, this monthly candle is very bearish. And it is by far, I mean, this is the most volume that you've had on futures in a month since COVID, which would actually be it would be a bull case. But what I'll say to go against that is you have this big long wick here for COVID, and probably yeah, I mean, this was more like a sell climax sort of event. You had so much volume just out of nowhere on this weekly chart here. Well, really, this would have been, yeah, completion of that distribution. You sell down, and you have your markdown phase. And then you had basically the sell climax, which kind of ended up being more like a terminal shakeout type event. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, there is a point probably in the, but again, look at what happened, right? You had this big volume spike on this candle here, and you still ended up having that COVID crash event, right? So that's going to occur on lower volume. It actually behaves more like a spring, right? A spring is going to be a low volume sell-off event, which is what you had back there, not a terminal shakeout. Sorry about that. And then I did the thing where my volume isn't on the chart anymore. I like that better. But yeah, so overall, guys, like I am overwhelmingly bearish. That is my conviction. I am completely and totally, and I mean, since we've been up here, pretty much, I've been, saying that whatever rips happen, whatever upside occurs, anything like that, my bias is bearish in the short term, and that has played out continuously. And I will continue to play that way until you break this trend. Now, if you break this trend, that is a change in behavior. You retest that trend, you make a new high. Suddenly, what you're talking about is you're getting that relief rally, a larger, more significant relief rally back up to this midline. But after today, it's hard for me to see that sort of scenario playing out in the short term. But I would say, be prepared for anything. Follow your rules. Have something predetermined that you're going to stick to, and play by that. You can't look at the market and decide before that, okay, no matter what I'm bearish, no matter what I'm bullish. Like, you have to be able to change your mind within these markets. And that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to change your position, right? Like, I mean, there's a number of institutions and things like that are gonna still be net long within this market, right? Even though you're down, a significant amount in equities, they're still going to be net long in equities, and they're going to patiently wait it out. They're going to buy lower and buy lower and buy lower and wait for the market to again rally, even if it takes 5 years, right? So it just depends on your timeline and your term. But like I said, over the course of the next month, if you don't break out of the top of this trend line, I am expecting that you continue to trade down into this falling wedge, and you have a reversal timeline here of the next few weeks, right? You could start to see some new higher lows, higher highs action start to occur over here in October. So it could happen. It should happen relatively quick, based on the way that the patterns are playing out right now, in my opinion. And again, this could change, but this is my outlook. So hopefully you enjoyed. I know I said I wasn't gonna make Friday videos anymore, and just stick to the Sundays, but maybe we'll do the Friday and then we'll do Sunday as well. We'll look back at the chart with some fresh eyes and see if we can change our mind. But I gotta say, I'm pretty biased. Again, make sure you go follow on TikTok. It's going to be the top link down below. Over there, watch time is really important as well. So if you watch the TikTok all the way to the end, you like it, comment, and share it. That's how, in my opinion, that's what I think the algorithm really feeds off of is, you have your group text with your buddies or whatever, and or what do girls call their, like, what's the is there an equivalent for girls to buddies for guys? Like, is there, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, buddies is like a typical, like, I don't really call them my buddies, like, in real life. It's just like I was just saying it as a, you get what I'm saying. Anyway, I think that the TikTok algorithm really likes when you share, like, through text message, because they know that that's going to group text, like funny, the TikTok where you share your funny TikToks with your friends or interesting TikToks with your friends or whatever. So, if that's something that you're in, that share button helps a lot. But make sure you watch those videos till the end, and comment your thoughts, anything like that, and that'll help me get boosted onto the For You page and stuff like that. So anyway, I appreciate your help. I appreciate you guys watching, and until next time, enjoy the weekend. Hug a family member. Okay.